Hello, everyone, and welcome to Ministry Moments with Pastor Matt. I'm Pastor Matt. On today's Ministry Moment, we focus on the ministry of the Power Team. What's the Power Team, you ask? I'll tell you. It's a team created to analyze how Wesley Memorial uses energy. We believe God, the Creator, has created humanity to care for all of creation. We know through God's gift of scientific inquiry that creation continues to suffer from and change because of how humanity uses non-renewable resources like oil and gasoline. One of the long-term goals of Wesley Memorial is to no longer depend upon fossil fuels for its energy usage. So the Power Team works towards that aim. The chair of the team, the talented and intelligent Christine Alencar, joins us today to tell us more. Thank you, Christine, for taking the time to meet with me today. So welcome. First to the questions, most difficult. If you could be any animal, real or imagined, what animal would it be?
I think this is a really easy question. I would be a Pegasus because I could run really fast, be really strong, and I could fly.
Yeah, I think that'd be great. I think being able to fly and be a horse, that's a stellar answer. Okay, so tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from? Do you have a family? What do you do for work?
Yeah, so I grew up pretty close by in Roanoke, Virginia. I have memories of visiting Charlottesville when I was younger. I was born and raised in Roanoke, and I went to university out by Virginia Beach in Newport News. I went to Christopher Newport University, where I studied environmental science and chemistry. And then I moved to the University of Kentucky for my graduate degree in entomology at the College of Agriculture. And during that time, I really transitioned into a more of a laboratory research role. So I was doing lab research, and there I met my husband, Gabe Alencar, that some of you may know. He's a trustee at Wesley Memorial. And we moved back to Virginia. It was back to Virginia for me, where I continued working in laboratories at the University of Virginia. And Gabe is also a research scientist, so we have lots of science in our household. We have two boys. We have a 5.5-year-old Douglas, who we call Dougie, and we have a 1.5-year-old Manny, who we call, or Manuel, who we call Manny. So Manny and Dougie. And after moving to Charlottesville and working in the lab for several years, I became involved in a volunteer group on grounds at the campus called the Green Labs Working Group, where we focused on sustainability in research spaces. Research spaces are highly intensive spaces, both materially and energetically. And they opened a position in the office for someone to spearhead lab sustainability. I was thrilled to apply, thrilled to get it. And that's what I've been doing for the last several years. The position has grown and morphed and expanded. And now I lead retro-commissioning and renovation projects in laboratory buildings to improve safety and energy efficiency in research spaces specifically.
Wow, that's great. You are the right person for the work that you're doing with this team. You really are. So Christine, you are passionate for the work that you do. It is obvious. You spend any amount of time with Christine, you will pick up on that passion and find yourself being energized and excited towards it as well. What drives your passion, would you say?
I think it's very natural that humans feel connected to the natural world. And, you know, I was a child of the 90s, and that was a period of awakening for climate scientists and for awareness of climate change and global warming. You know, I started an environmentalist group in my high school where we'd collect plastic bottles every week and load up our car and drive it out to the recycling process station in Roanoke. You know, I think many people feel centered when they're surrounded by nature, and it it's not rocket science to me. We should certainly be protecting that which is vulnerable. And as you stated, greenhouse gas emissions have made our environment vulnerable. That is why I'm passionate about it. I want my children and my children's children to know what polar bears are and to be able to swim in the lake without fear of some contamination event.
Yeah, that's right. That's good stuff. So you are the chair of the Power Team, which is a great name for a committee, if I do say so myself. What are some of the things the Power Team does?
Yeah, the Power Team is really looking at the built environment at Wesley Memorial from a holistic perspective. This conversation started almost a year ago at this point. It was summer of 2021, and I started talking to Rosie about, well, we should change the lights in the church because that seemed like a really simple way to immediately save energy. Little did I know that this is a conversation that our community has been having for years. Back before Gabe and I were members, there had been a LEAP assessment, which is LEAP, Leadership for Energy Alliance. I can't remember exactly what it stands for, but anyone can get in contact with LEAP. It's a local organization, and they will do energy assessments on your homes or on your commercial property. And that's what happened at Wesley Memorial. The assessment, along with follow-up assessments from HVAC professionals and electricians, have led us to this place where now we know more about the systems that we have on grounds and what kinds of solutions will be required to get us closer to that fossil fuel free goal. There's 3 areas that we're really looking at: the lighting, the HVAC, and alternative energy opportunities. Our education building is a good candidate for solar power, but at the same time, we need to get off of some of the older antiquated units that are currently utilized to power the church. For example, we have a boiler that is burning fossil fuel directly.
Yeah.
So that's something we need to consider. We also have lots of lights that are not LED. So we're balancing all of those areas to try to get us to our goal.
Great. Those are some really significant, important things for us. So let's say I'm just now learning about the Power Team and I want to get involved. Who do I need to contact about being involved?
You can contact me or my husband, Gabe. Pastor Seaton will post my email address on this video. And you can also reach out to the church and you'll get funneled to me. I would encourage anyone and everyone who's interested in energy efficiency to please reach out and get involved, because we need all hands on deck for this. It sounds so simple to change a few light bulbs, but it actually requires a great deal of planning and coordination. So we could use all the help that we could get. And I want to remind folks that sustainability is more than just recycling. Not that recycling is not important. I don't want to discourage that. But it's also about the built environment. And we've become so accustomed to seeing our house, our church, our office building, our shopping mall, our grocery store, that the built environment has become a part of the environment, but we forget about the greenhouse gas emissions that are associated with powering those spaces. And it is incredibly significant and important that we address that to reduce our environmental impact.
Yes, that's right. And that's a great reminder that as the Power Team leads Wesley Memorial in the way it's rethinking how it uses energy, that you, viewer, joining us, you're a part of Wesley Memorial and how you care for your own built-in space is part of the work of Wesley Memorial. And so I leave you with a question, viewer. In what ways do you care for God's creation in your neighborhood? Leave us a comment below to share. Christine, again, thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it. And thank you for all that you do as you lead the power team. See you next time.